It is day 2 of the Cheetah Championship, one of the 7 PBA Tour titles up for grabs at the inaugural $2.1 million PBA World Series of Bowling here in Detroit. A relative unknown named Ryan Simonelli has surprised everyone, capturing the #1 seed in this tournament with a dominant performance in qualifying. Simonelli, along with Wes Malott, Norm Duke, and Jack Jurek, each receive a bye in the round of 28 and advance directly to the round of 16.
That was big to me because the best of 7, you know, those guys, they really know how to break lanes down. They're really smart. And an extra match bye is really helpful to an up-and-comer like me.
For match play, the tournament has moved into the arena bay here at Thunder Bowl. These 20 lanes sit over what was originally a small bowling stadium that was home in the early 60s to the fledgling National Bowling League.
Well, there's a huge difference between the 2 bays, the qualifying bay and the match play bay, because of the lane surface itself. You're going from a brand new synthetic surface to an older synthetic surface. So a lot more friction in the match play bay, and the players are going to have to go through some huge adjustments.
For the most part, there were few surprises in the round of 28. Chris Barnes, Sean Rash, Mike Wolf, and even the returning legend Brian Voss all made it through. But #8 seed Michael Fagan nearly went home, dodging a bullet against Jeffrey Roach, a local Dearborn, Michigan hopeful, who at one point led the match 3-1. In Game 6, all Roach needed to do was mark in the 10th frame to win the match and send Fagan home.
And, you know, at that point, you just figure that's it.
Still felt like I was lined up great, you know. I just threw a horrible shot in the 10th. And my hand was getting sweaty, so I was scared to throw the ball hard and threw it a little slow and just kind of never got there.
He made that mistake and let me back in, and he actually bowled a pretty decent game in the last game too, and he happened to miss a spare, and that pretty much made the difference.
Fagan would end up taking Game 7 and the match, despite having some issues with the cameraman.
Basically, the way I was lined up when I was throwing it that far to the right, you know, my target basically was right where the camera was, and you know, he's trying to catch our match and Ryan's match at the same time, and he keeps going back and forth and moving his hands and legs. Is he gonna stop moving ever? Yeah, he keeps moving his hands. He keeps basically my target is right at him, and he keeps moving his hand.
All right. I think we have radio cover. We'll let him know exactly where the problem is.
All right, thank you. My emotions, my roller coaster of emotions was definitely on high this match. It was, you know, I felt really good coming into a match, and then started to go into panic mode, and then had to calm down and just try to do the best I could. So.
And then there were the trials of one of the most intimidating players on the tour, Mika Koivuniemi, who faced a player from Liverpool, England, Stuart Williams.
Yeah, it's not so much he's intimidating, he's just really good. I mean, yeah, he's like, I don't know, Mika's a hero somewhat to most of the European players.
But there was no hero worship to be seen on the lanes as Williams jumped out to an early 2-game lead and was on track to make it 3.
I started off pretty well for the first couple of games, and Mika was a bit, he was in between 2 balls. It looked like he didn't know whether to go a bit straighter or a bit further inside, and then the 3rd game we were both pretty close, and I needed a first strike in the 10th frame. And then I left the 9-pin, which meant that Mika won that game at 2-1.
Hopefully that wasn't a bad break. That's going to be the turning point of the match. When you got Mika, you got to put him down. So I guess I'll have to throw some more better shots this game and hope for the best.
They would split the next 2 games, making the score 3-2 in Williams' favor. Game 6 would be close, but in the final frames, the game and the match looked to be in the Englishman's grasp.
I could get up and strike in the 9th and 10th to win, and then I threw probably the worst shot through the whole match and left the big split, and it kind of felt like You know, I just had to decide what I was going to do for the next game, and I spared in the 10th frame, and Mika needed a mark to beat me.
Mika leaves the 10-pin, a routine spare that will send the match to Game 7. And just that quick, the match was over.
Mika just doesn't miss spares. I don't know what happened, but he missed it, and, well, there we go.
I can't remember anything like this before, so it's tough for me. I usually think I'm a great spare shooter, and I guess there's once for everything.
Well, I just beat probably the best European bowler ever, so yeah, I'm pretty thrilled at the minute. I mean, it's the first match I've ever played on the exempt tour, so to win anyways, pretty cool, but yeah, it was a very strange way to end the match.
It's a match Mika will likely never forget, one of the biggest mistakes of his career, but he won't find any sympathy from his opponent.
Well, he didn't feel too sorry for me when he beat me 3 weeks ago in Barcelona, so I guess I don't feel too sorry for him now.
Mika isn't the only native of Finland competing in the Cheetah round of 28. Asku Palerma shares the same serious demeanor as his fellow countrymen, but that's where the similarities end. Asku throws two-handed, like Australian sensation Jason Belmonte, but even though they have the same style, Asku was overshadowed by Belmonte as a media darling last season.
Of course, it's a little bit depressing to see we've been around for the same time. We won about the same amount of things. He just won one in here and was here for the year, so he got the attention because the media is bigger here. But I'm here, so we'll see what happens.
Welcoming Asku to the round of 28 was none other than Walter Ray Williams Jr., the old-school American legend versus the new-school Euro two-hander. They would split the first two games, with Asku throwing a 279 in the second. But this miss in Game 3, along with several splits, all on the left lane, cost Asku dearly, including his heartbreaker in the 8th frame of the final game.
Those 5 high hits that I had on the left lane, that's cost the match. So, because I found the pocket all the way, I had a lot of strikes every game. But it's just like I got punished a little bit too hard this time.
Walter Ray would win 4-2, striking out for a 279 in the final game. But in the round of 16, Walter Ray would match up with a player a little closer to his own style and his own age, fellow Hall of Famer Norm Duke.
It's a different match when you're bowling against Walter. You have to prepare differently. And it's going to be a war.